Could Remy Ma already be locked in as the absolute ultimate surprise card BET is hiding until the curtain drops? Or is the industry trying to scrub her entirely from the narrative? And was Claressa'S really just sitting in Atlanta for a routine basketball game? Or was she there laying down heavy, quiet groundwork right before awards weekend to completely manipulate the voting block? What's good, family? Long time no see, but we are back at it. And thank y'all for sliding through today because the timeline is currently experiencing an absolute meltdown. Settle in, turn the volume up, and get ready, because the Remy Ma and Claressa'S storyline just had a massive nuclear layer added directly on top of it. We are talking about industry chess moves so calculated, so incredibly messy, that the network executives are probably losing their minds watching these dots connect in real time. Before we dive into the deep end of this industry conspiracy, we have to look at the exact velocity of how these moves are dropping on our feeds. Is it pure coincidental marketing? Or are we witnessing a full-scale executive cover-up happening right before the cameras even start rolling next weekend? Keep your eyes locked right here, because we are breaking down every single hidden receipt the mainstream media is too terrified to touch. The mainstream media wants you to believe that everything happening right now in the entertainment industry is just a series of happy accidents. They want you to look at your social media feeds and think that these massive celebrities are just living their lives, attending sports games, and dropping music schedules out of the goodness of their hearts. But if you have been paying attention to the corporate undercurrents of 2026, you already know that nothing in this industry happens without a highly paid boardroom meeting deciding the exact minute it hits the press. We are stepping directly into a multi-layered executive chess game where the stakes involve millions of dollars, legacy positioning, and backroom political favors that would make a corporate lawyer sweat. The moment the official performer lineup dropped, the entire internet collectively paused, looked at the document, and immediately realized that something was incredibly off about the math. On paper, the network is presenting a massive marquee production featuring names like Cardi B, Common, Tems, Kehlani, and Rick Ross. It looks like a balanced celebration of icons and new era hitmakers designed to keep the audience glued to their screens for a 4-hour broadcast window. But the second you notice the specific inclusion of French Montana and Max B, the entire infrastructure of that public announcement begins to crack under the weight of what is missing. You cannot honestly sit there with a straight face and tell the culture that you are staging a historic New York street rap reunion on a national platform without acknowledging the literal architect of that entire era's modern resurgence. The culture knows the history, the streets know the lineage, and the comment sections under every major entertainment blog immediately turned into a digital war zone demanding answers about why Remy Ma was nowhere to be found on that printed roster. The narrative they are trying to push is that this is simply a standard booking arrangement based on current artist availability and scheduling conflicts. But we know how this industry operates when a major network is trying to manage public perception around an artist who refuses to bow down to executive demands. Remy Ma has spent the last 2 decades establishing herself as one of the most unapologetic, unbothered, and fiercely independent voices in hip-hop history. She is not an artist you simply forget to invite to a reunion celebration, which means her absence from that paper lineup is either a calculated insult or the biggest corporate smokescreen of the year. When you hold that mystery up next to the bizarre public movements of Claressa'S over the past 7 days, the entire landscape of this award season starts looking like a high-stakes tactical deployment. Claressa'S is not an athlete who wanders into a stadium just because she had a free evening and wanted to buy some popcorn. Every single time that woman steps into the public eye, there is a hyper-specific agenda attached to her presence, and her sudden appearance at the Atlanta Dream WNBA game has sent shockwaves through the entire sports commentary community. The mainstream narrative attempted to frame the moment as a wholesome instance of a legendary combat sports athlete showing love to a rising basketball superstar like Angel Reese. But the internet has an incredibly long memory, and nobody has forgotten the absolute rhetorical napalm Claressa dropped during the previous award cycle when Angel Reese took home the hardware. Claressa was not just mildly disappointed. She was actively, vocally furious that the platform chose to reward a single breakout season over what she viewed as a lifetime achievement resume. She felt the rulebook was being bent to favor viral social media metrics over raw, undisputed athletic dominance in a ring. So watching her suddenly slide into an Atlanta arena, smiling for the cameras and positioned directly in the center of the broadcast frame, felt less like a genuine moment of sisterhood and more like a carefully staged political campaign stop. The rumors flying behind the scenes suggest that this entire Atlanta excursion was engineered by a high-powered public relations firm to completely rehabilitate her image before the voting committee locks in this year's results. There are leaked whispers from anonymous network insiders claiming that the tension between Claressa and the executive board reached an all-time high after she publicly questioned their integrity last year. The network allegedly felt that her public critiques were damaging the credibility of their flagship sports category, leading to quiet discussions about ICE boxing her from future nominations entirely. To counter this corporate blackballing, her team reportedly scrambled to orchestrate a high-profile public reconciliation with the exact athlete she had previously criticized. By placing her courtside at an Angel Reese game, they created a perfectly sanitized media narrative that the broadcast network could easily digest and display on the Jumbotron. This was not about basketball. This was a calculated, pre-planned corporate handshake designed to signal to the network voters that she was ready to play ball if they gave her the trophy. The sheer production velocity of that Jumbotron moment tells you everything you need to know about the lack of organic authenticity in modern celebrity culture. In 2026, stadium cameras do not just accidentally linger on a celebrity guest for 3 consecutive minutes, unless a publicist made a high-priority phone call to the control room 3 days in advance. The clip was edited, captured, and distributed across social media platforms with a level of professional precision that proves it was a coordinated media product. While the public is arguing in the comments about whether this represents true athletic unity, the corporate reality is that a massive marketing machine is working overtime to manipulate the narrative before the envelope is opened on stage. They needed to soften the public perception of her competitive friction, because the network cannot afford to hand a major award to someone the internet views as bitter or unsupportive of the new generation. Meanwhile, the executive panic over the Sportswoman of the Year category is reaching a fever pitch because the competitive field this year is an absolute minefield of cultural influence and athletic perfection. You have Sha'Carri Richardson continuing to command global headlines with a level of cultural charisma that transcends the sport of track and field entirely. You have Naomi Osaka sitting as an international corporate titan who can alter the financial trajectory of a sports brand with a single tweet. You have Coco Gauff climbing an undeniable ladder of global tennis dominance, and Jordan Chiles maintaining a massive mainstream television footprint that keeps gymnastics in the primetime conversation. But the corporate elephant in the room that everyone is terrified to address directly is the towering historic resume of Aya Wilson. The industry insiders are quietly admitting that Aya Wilson has put together a 12-month run that is so statistically absurd and culturally dominant that giving the award to anyone else would cause an immediate corporate crisis. She did not just win games. She completely redefined the commercial viability of her entire league while sweeping every single individual honor available on the planet. She captured the regular season Most Valuable Player award, secured the Defensive Player of the Year honors, and walked away with the finals victory in a single unbroken calendar run. That is not just a good season. That is a definitive corporate takeover of a sport that has the entire business world rewriting their endorsement budgets. The problem the network faces is that they have built an entertainment platform that thrives on dramatic tension, viral debates, and controversial upsets. If they give the trophy to Aya Wilson, the decision is mathematically flawless, but it lacks the chaotic social media friction that keeps their platform trending for a full week after the broadcast ends. This is exactly where the Claressa Shields variable becomes incredibly dangerous for the executive producers. The backroom chatter indicates that certain high-level sponsors are pushing for a narrative upset that would generate maximum online engagement, and Claressa's sudden political maneuvers in Atlanta suggest she knows exactly how close that voting margin truly is. The corporate sponsors want a story that creates conversation, and a controversial boxing champion snatching the trophy away from a historic basketball MVP is the exact type of media circus that drives prime-time ratings. While the sports division is managing that explosive situation, the music entertainment department is dealing with a full-scale mutiny regarding the secret layout of the performance run sheets. The official narrative says that the performer lineup is finalized, printed, and distributed to the press with absolutely no changes expected before show night. But high-level production assistants are leaking information that the actual rehearsals are being conducted under maximum security protocols to hide a massive surprise element. The network has realized that in the current media landscape, A standard announced performance does not hold the public attention span for more than 24 hours after the show concludes. They have discovered that the real economic currency of modern television lies in the element of shock value, and they are desperate for a viral moment that will completely dominate the cultural conversation. The rumors indicating that Remy Ma is the secret weapon being held in reserve are becoming impossible to ignore when you study the structural timeline of her recent career moves. You do not quietly launch a multi-million-dollar media enterprise like the Remy Network, secure major corporate syndication deals, and suddenly reappear in high-profile circles next to industry titans like Fat Joe and 50 Cent unless you are preparing for a massive cultural reintroduction. Her entire professional camp has been operating with a level of disciplined secrecy that usually precedes a major national television moment. The theory circulating among top music industry analysts is that the network deliberately kept her name off the public press releases to create an artificial sense of outrage and conversation among the fan base. They allowed the internet to spend weeks complaining about the exclusion, building up a massive reservoir of public anticipation and digital engagement, only to plan a stadium-shattering surprise walkout that will instantly break the internet. Imagine the sheer theatrical value of letting French Montana and Max B take the stage alone, allowing the audience to assume the worst, and then dropping the lights to reveal Remy Ma standing in the center spotlight with a microphone in her hand. The social media metrics for a moment like that would instantly outperform every single announced act on the roster combined. It is a classic corporate bait and switch designed to turn a standard music set into a historic cultural event that will be replayed on news loops for the next decade. But this corporate strategy carries an immense amount of risk, because if the surprise fails to materialize, the public backlash against the network will be catastrophic. The fans are already frustrated with what they perceive as the corporate sanitization of street rap culture, and using the legacy of French and Max as marketing bait without delivering the actual full reunion would be viewed as an unforgivable betrayal. The executives are walking a razor-thin tightrope between brilliant theatrical marketing and total public relations suicide. Every single moving piece of this awards weekend is connected to a larger corporate agenda, designed to extract maximum attention and financial capital from the culture. As we watch these updates develop, the line between authentic cultural moments and manufactured corporate products is completely disappearing right before our eyes. The timeline is not just connecting random dots. They are exposing a highly complex blueprint of industry manipulation that is about to reach its absolute breaking point as the production clocks count down to zero. The corporate boardrooms have laid out their pieces, the public relations firms have deployed their strategies, and the artists are moving across the map according to a script that was finalized months ago behind closed doors. The corporate boardroom panic behind this production is leaking into every major entertainment news outlet, and the official spin doctors are completely losing control of the narrative. Independent investigative journalists are quietly uncovering internal communications that show a massive structural rift between the network's traditional programming executives and the high-powered corporate sponsors who control the financial purse strings for the entire broadcast event. Leaked internal memos from high-level production coordinators reveal that the network's legal department had to hold an emergency session to discuss the potential fallout of their secret scheduling decisions. The documents suggest that a major telecommunications sponsor threatened to pull a multi-million-dollar advertisement package if the live show did not deliver a guaranteed viral engagement metric within the first 90 minutes of the broadcast window. This financial pressure explains exactly why the executive producers decided to orchestrate such a high-risk, high-reward media strategy with their performance lineup. They realized that a standard, predictable award show structure would no longer satisfy the massive corporate boards that fund these primetime telecasts in 2026. The strategy required them to deliberately manipulate the public's emotions by manufacturing an artificial controversy around the exclusion of iconic street rap legends. By creating a digital vacuum where the fans felt outraged, the marketing team successfully generated millions of dollars in free promotional press long before the stage lights were even assembled. Anonymous sources inside the network's staging crew have reported that specialized non-disclosure agreements were distributed to a select group of audio engineers and lighting directors last Thursday morning. These specific agreements were entirely separate from the standard production contracts and carried massive financial penalties for any individual who leaked the exact contents of the midnight technical rehearsals. Witnesses near the rehearsal studios in downtown Atlanta claimed they heard distinct audio tracks belonging to classic Terror Squad catalog runs echoing through the security perimeters long after normal operations had concluded for the evening. This indicates that the production team is actively constructing a sonic landscape that directly connects to the golden era of New York street rap, despite the complete absence of those artists from the public promotional posters. The administrative cover-up goes even deeper when you analyze the suspicious accounting records associated with the venue's backstage hospitality budgets. Financial ledger entries obtained by investigative bloggers show a massive unexplained spike in private security detail allocations for a VIP suite labeled under a corporate pseudonym. The budget allocated for this specific hidden suite matches the exact operational cost required to transport and house a major legacy artist and a full management entourage under complete media blackout conditions. The network is essentially running a black ops entertainment operation to ensure that their planned media detonation remains completely hidden from the paparazzi until the exact microsecond the artist steps onto the stage. While the music production is hiding behind non-disclosure agreements, the sports marketing division is dealing with an entirely different corporate crisis involving the integrity of their voting database. Reports are circulating within athletic management circles that a prominent sports agency filed a formal inquiry regarding the exact validation process used to count the ballots for the Sportswoman of the Year category. The agency allegedly expressed deep concern that external public relations campaigns were being allowed to influence the voting committee during the critical period when the final numbers were being locked into the system. This formal challenge points directly to the aggressive, high-velocity media deployment that Claressa'S and her management team executed in Atlanta. The timeline of her public relations blitz shows a level of corporate coordination that completely eliminates the possibility of an organic, spontaneous weekend trip. Documents obtained from a luxury private aviation charter service show that a high-capacity corporate jet was booked and paid for by a major combat sports promotion company 2 weeks prior to the Atlanta Dream game. The passenger manifest included not just Claressa herself, but a specialized team of digital media strategists, corporate brand consultants, and a prominent entertainment publicist who specializes in crisis management and awards season positioning. This was a full-scale tactical team deployed to the city with the explicit mission of capturing the local media narrative by any means necessary. The strategy relied heavily on leveraging the intense media attention surrounding Angel Reese to create a highly bankable visual moment that would instantly dominate the social media algorithms. The publicist reportedly coordinated directly with the arena's broadcast director to ensure that when Claressa was shown on the Jumbotron, the camera angles would emphasize a warm, supportive demeanor that directly contradicted her previous years of public criticism. This visual rebranding was engineered to erase the lingering industry perception that she was unsupportive of the new generation of women basketball stars, thereby removing the primary narrative obstacle preventing her from securing the necessary votes for the trophy. But the backroom manipulation did not stop at simple camera placements and calculated smiles in the stands. Entertainment lawyers are whispering about a secret meeting that took place at a high-end restaurant in Buckhead the night before the game, where top executives from a major athletic apparel brand were spotted dining with key members of the award selection committee. The brand in question happens to hold massive endorsement contracts with multiple athletes in the category, creating a massive conflict of interest that has independent watchdogs demanding full transparency. The implication is clear: corporate entities are actively attempting to steer the outcome of a prestigious cultural honor to align with their global marketing campaigns and shoe release schedules. The mathematical absurdity of trying to deny Aya Wilson the trophy in favor of a manufactured narrative is what has the entire sports world preparing for a massive digital revolt. Internal analytics from sports data firms show that Wilson's historical footprint over the past 12 months generated more economic value and mainstream media impressions for women's basketball than the previous 5 seasons combined. She did not merely compete. She operated as a one-woman corporate engine that elevated the financial valuation of her entire franchise and brought unprecedented prime-time ratings to the network. To pass over a historic Triple Crown champion who swept the regular season, defensive, and finals honors would require a level of corporate corruption so blatant that the platform's athletic credibility would be permanently destroyed. Yet, the television producers remain dangerously obsessed with the concept of a chaotic upset because their internal metrics show that consensus victories do not drive post-show social media traffic. They know that when a clear, deserving favorite wins a trophy, the internet offers a brief moment of applause and then immediately logs off the platform. But when a highly controversial, polarizing figure pulls off an unexpected, narrative-driven victory, the digital engagement metrics explode into a multi-day firestorm of arguments, reaction videos, and toxic comment threads that keep the network's brand relevant for weeks. The executives are treating the hard-earned legacies of these world-class athletes as mere fuel for their viral attention machine, completely disregarding the real-world impact on the sports community. As the countdown to the live broadcast approaches its critical phase, the tension inside the production offices has reached an absolute boiling point, with staff members reportedly threatening to leak the full run sheet if their creative concerns are not addressed. The network has built a dangerous corporate apparatus that relies completely on deception, artificial outrage, and high-stakes media manipulation to maintain its cultural dominance. The public is slowly beginning to see past the polished graphics and the synchronized social media posts, recognizing that they are being fed a carefully manufactured product designed to exploit their passion for the culture. The lines have been drawn, the corporate assets have been deployed across the city, and the final phase of this massive industry play is about to unfold before a live audience of millions. The escalating friction inside the production departments has reached the upper echelons of corporate management, causing a total logjam in the final approval pipeline for the broadcast's concluding segments. Senior vice presidents are reportedly locked in continuous arguments with the creative directors regarding the exact placement of the unannounced segments on the master run sheet. Leak schedules obtained from a secure digital Dropbox indicate that the network has prepared two entirely separate versions of the final 30 minutes of the telecast. One version features a standard corporate outro with a basic tribute medley, while the second version contains an extended block labeled under the codename Project Manhattan, which industry insiders claim is the designated operational title for the live Remy deployment. The logistical complexity of keeping a major hip-hop icon completely hidden within the arena perimeter has forced the security team to implement unprecedented lockdown procedures across the entire backstage complex. Production crew members are reporting that entire corridors have been sealed off with black heavy-duty curtains, and any staff member caught using a mobile device near the dressing room areas faces immediate termination and legal action. The network is so terrified of a premature social media leak ruining their planned viral detonation that they have bypassed normal stage management protocols entirely, utilizing an independent private security firm to oversee the movement of all unlisted talent. This level of extreme paranoia proves that the executive team knows exactly how much cultural and financial capital is riding on the absolute shock value of this specific moment. While the music department scrambles to protect their secrets, the digital analytics teams are monitoring the massive wave of public skepticism that is beginning to completely overwhelm their promotional channels. The internet's refusal to accept the official narratives has forced the network's public relations division to deploy a fleet of secondary media accounts to actively combat the corporate cover-up theories filling the comment sections. These corporate accounts are working around the clock to push the narrative that the performance roster was finalized months ago, based strictly on standard commercial viability and radio rotation metrics. But the core consumer base is far too intelligent to fall for basic corporate spin, and the digital pushback is only intensifying the public's demands for genuine cultural transparency on the main stage. The controversy surrounding the Sportswoman of the Year category has taken a legal turn as independent investigative journalists uncover deeper financial ties between the corporate board members and the management agencies representing the athletes. A formal audit request has reportedly been drafted by a group of minority shareholders who are demanding a full review of the voting committee's financial disclosures over the last 2 fiscal cycles. The shareholders are expressing serious concerns that the integrity of the platform's highest athletic honor is being actively compromised to satisfy the marketing objectives of major international sportswear conglomerates. This formal challenge has thrown the entire executive committee into a state of absolute panic, as a public audit would expose the intricate web of backroom deals that dictate the outcomes of these seemingly objective cultural awards. The strategy behind Claressa'S' high-profile media appearances in Atlanta is now being recognized as a masterclass in corporate survival politics, rather than a simple weekend sports excursion. Brand strategists are pointing out that her management team realized that her long-term commercial viability depended entirely on shifting her public perception away from competitive hostility toward mainstream corporate acceptance. By strategically positioning herself next to the league's most marketable young stars, her team successfully manufactured a sanitized public image that corporate sponsors can comfortably utilize in global ad campaigns. This calculated maneuvering allowed her to bypass the network's traditional gatekeepers, forcing the voting committee to reconsider her position out of sheer fear of a public relations backlash. Yet, the sheer overwhelming dominance of Aya Wilson's competitive resume remains an immovable obstacle that the network's narrative spinners are finding completely impossible to dismantle with basic public relations tactics. You cannot easily erase a historic Triple Crown championship campaign that set the gold standard for athletic perfection across the globe through simple Jumbotron photo opportunities and calculated media smiles. The athletic community is making it absolutely clear that any result that does not end with Wilson holding the trophy will be viewed as a definitive act of corporate fraud, sparking an immediate and total boycott of the network's future sports programming. The executives find themselves completely trapped between the mathematical reality of a legendary athletic achievement and their toxic obsession with manufactured viral controversy. As the production clocks count down to the final broadcast hour, the internal warfare between authentic cultural preservation and corporate greed is preparing to play out before an audience of millions. The network has constructed an unstable media apparatus built on a foundation of deception, artificial engagement, and systemic manipulation designed to extract maximum profit from the passions of the culture. The viewers are no longer content to blindly accept the polished television products handed down by detached boardroom executives, and the demand for real structural accountability is reaching a historic breaking point. The pieces have all been placed on the board, the executive strategies have been fully deployed across the market, and the final phase of this high-stakes industry gamble is about to explode into the public view as the main stage lights finally illuminate the arena floor. So, family, the entire industry blueprint is laid out on the table, and the corporate boardrooms are running out of time to hide the strings. Now it is your turn to step into the announcer booth and tell me exactly how this chaotic sequence is going to drop when the cameras go live. Do you believe the network is going to pull off the ultimate corporate bait and switch by dropping the lights and letting Remy Ma completely detonate the social media timeline? Or have the executive suite successfully engineered a total media blackout to freeze out the true legends of the street rap era? And what is the real verdict on this explosive sportswoman of the year war? Is Aya Wilson walking away with the clean, undeniable victory her historic season earned? Or are we about to witness the most corrupt narrative upset in the history of national television? Pull up directly into the comments section right now and drop your unfiltered truths, because this entire industry chess game is about to hit the absolute breaking point. If you are tired of the polished corporate spin and want to keep track of every single hidden industry receipt, smash that like button right now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, share this breakdown with anyone who is deep in the celebrity news trenches, and lock that notification bell on. The next 48 hours are about to be pure, unadulterated chaos, and you cannot afford to miss the next drop. Keep your head on a swivel, family, and hold y'all down.